Not only is my mini bike ugly, it's also slow as I am hoping to change that today. I have a 212 Predator engine. It's already stage 1 with a torque converter, and we're going to give this thing a different paint job, new seat, new fenders, all that good stuff. We start by disassembling the bike. This satellite mounting bracket is roughly 1.5 inches tall. It's a little much, but it'll work out for my needs. I have the Predator bolt pattern drawn out here in the form of a rectangle. I'll be using this existing bolt hole here, then drilling 1, 2, 3 more holes. Next, we can test fit the engine and make sure I drilled all my holes in the right spots. So as suspected, this bracket's in the way. This bracket, I was never going to keep it there, but it's also in the way, and we also need to get rid of this bracket. So see, we have 1, 2, 3 bolts to take the seat off. And I have my brand new seat here. I put the bolts in that so that whenever I need them, I won't be looking for them. The nut holding the kickstand on is totally rounded off. There is nothing to grip onto, so I'm just going to angle grinder that off real fast. I got my new 65 tooth sprocket, and putting them next to each other, you can see just how worn out the old sprocket was. And I remember now they had welded this sprocket onto the hub, and so there's still weld material here. This will come right off, but now we can have a proper sprocket on it, bolted down. This came with the bolts and everything. With all those brackets and stuff cut off, I'm still going to clean this up, by the way. I just wanted to do a quick test fit here. So since it doesn't fit, I can either make a rack back here, which will be temporary, or I can build a custom aluminum tank for inside here. And I think that's the route we're going to go. That'll probably be its own video, not going to lie. I also remembered that this sprocket is kind of crooked, so we're going to watch this point right here, okay? So yeah, why don't I put the new sprocket on here before I align everything to this crooked sprocket? So there's our size comparison. It's quite a bit shorter than the other one. Let's play a game of how many of these holes am I going to have to tap? Oh, nope, there it goes. Okay, perfect. So I don't have to tap any of these holes. That's beautiful. Before I remove the engine and cut this thing up to fit properly, I'm going to weld the bolts in here. That'll make it so I can just drop the engine down in exactly the same place that I took it off, and I won't have to fight with the nuts or bolts under here. These will be welded on, and it'll just be a simple process putting the engine back on the frame. I have the bracket cut down. That's perfectly aligned here. On this side, I cut the bracket, and I'm just going to kind of push it in like that, so I have a surface to weld on. This is super ghetto, but it's also super cheap because I had this metal laying around. Before we get too far, let me show you something real quick. It really annoys me when I have to drain the oil, that the oil goes all over the bottom here. So to fix that, I have this. It's a round tube, about 1 inch. I cut it long ways in half, and it's about, I don't know, 3 inches long total. I'll clean it up here in a bit, but now when I go to change my oil, I can take the front plug out, and it'll drip right down here, and not all over my damn bike. With my plate the proper size, I can test fit it and tack weld it where it needs to be. While I'm here, I'll mark my chain where it needs to be. After that, I will fully weld it along the whole outside edge. Now I'll do one final test fit with the chain to be sure everything is lined up properly. I think there's another washer up there. Yep, there it is. So I don't lose it. Oh, you wanted to swing back down there, buddy. Since the frame has endless coats of paint on it from previous owners, I decided to just strip it all off and start fresh. But to get the exact blue that I wanted, there's a very specific technique that I use that you can also use. Distance. We're just trying to get the glitter out of it, not necessarily the blue. We'll go from a distance and immediately go over it with a heavy coat of clear. You can do this vice versa. You can do the clear first or whatever, as long as you're separating the layers of metallic with a thick coat of clear. I layered paint like this 6 to 7 times, and it gave me a beautiful deep blue sheen that has real depth to it. I could have just sprayed the cobalt blue metallic and cleared over it, but it wouldn't have had such a deep effect as this does here. I am totally satisfied with my paint job here. And same thing with the handlebars. I used a charcoal color for the base, and I'm shooting it with a really bright metallic silver for the finish. And honestly, I kind of like this charcoal look. That's pretty killer. I might leave it like that and just clear over that. The fork bolt and bearings are kind of loose. I don't know if it warrants replacing them yet, but I will in the future if it gets a little sketchy. Beautiful. I am not sponsored by Go Power Sports, but I was able to get these fenders, the number plate, and a brand new seat for under $34, shipped with tax. It's hard to see, but the casing here is chewed up, and the Damascus twist here is going inside the handle. So it's not super safe to use the brakes right now. I have another cable on order, and that's why this video didn't come out last week. The exhaust is temporary. This is my homemade mini car muffler. I didn't have any exhausts that would fit, so I cut a flange and welded this directly to it. It's too fast. So this flip is the second flip that I did on this bike. The first one was not recorded, and I landed promptly on my back, totally wrecked the back of the bike. The paint's all messed up, and the fender got bent, and the mount got bent, but it's not slow or ugly anymore. So next steps are either a wheelie bar or extending the wheelbase, because if I'm doing a wheelie, I can't exactly steer, so I'd prefer to just extend the wheelbase. That way the front wheel stays planted and I'm able to steer if I need to. But anyway, that's all I got for you. Hopefully this video was entertaining. I hope to be building a lot more things pretty soon, but until then, you be good while I'm gone, and I will see you next time. Have a good week.